Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Chloe. I am a singer-songwriter, guitarist and a writer. Today's video is going to be a little different because I haven't really done a story time before, but I'm going to do one today. And today, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be talking about my NCS experience. Last year, when I actually kind of like applied to do NCS, I was with my boyfriend at the time and we both applied together. We wanted to be in the same group. We didn't expect anything would happen to us, but naturally things happened and we broke up. I'm not affected by it now. I'm not affected by it now. Obviously back then I was affected by it quite a bit. Exams finished at the end of June. Mine actually finished halfway through June. At the end of June, NCS obviously started, or beginning of July, and I went on wave 2, which was essentially, I started on the 10th of July, and the first week we were intense. We did a lot of different things, and at some points we did go off-site. So I went on wave 2, that means I started on the 10th of July. We were intense and we were obviously in groups, and at the beginning I was in the same group with my ex. That first week, so there are 4 weeks of NCS, and the first 2 go away. And so the first week we were intense. I actually shared with 2 other girls. I don't know why, but I only shared with 2 other girls and they actually were really nice, and I am friends with them on Facebook, which I think is a good sign. But obviously I don't really talk to them anymore because it's been a while since then. And so that first week I remember being friends with them, and then they had this guy friend and he was actually quite nice as well. Like, they were a really nice trio of friends and they were wonderful, and they made the experience for me a lot better. They made it a lot more enjoyable because they were all in my group and it was so fun. They made it so fun. But obviously there is a downer to this because of my ex. So this whole time, so the first 2 weeks, I was practically in the same space as my ex. No, it was like Monday to Friday, and then we had the weekends at home. And the first week was one of the worst weeks in terms of the personal side because of my ex. I know I keep talking about my ex, but it honestly has played such an important role in my experience. Being in the same space as my ex did not help. So it was obviously hard for me, and there was actually one point in that first week where I got so angry that we started fighting, physically fighting. I probably shouldn't say this on camera, but I did slap him. He pushed me over. So we were both even and we both provoked each other, I think. I then practically rugby tackled him and he did nothing after that. And obviously I'm a lot calmer now. Don't ever get on my bad side. I'm sure that's a bad message to put across. And that's not me now. I'm obviously a lot different from back then. It was last July. Now I have changed a lot since then. But that first week wasn't all bad. I loved all of the activities we did. We basically did 3 activities per day. And you may think that's quite intense, but it really wasn't. I felt that it was quite relaxed and we had a lot of free time between activities. So some of the activities we did were rock climbing, coasteering. I enjoyed coasteering, but the thing is, I didn't take part until the very end when we jumped off like the highest rock, and I'm just like, you know, I'm just gonna jump off this rock into the water, and I did, and a lot of people were proud of me, and I was actually really proud of myself because that was the only thing I did during coasteering. And we did canoeing, paddleboarding. I hated paddleboarding. I just did not enjoy it. I was on my knees the whole time because I just did not want to stand up, and my knee is actually quite weak. I've never really talked about this, but if you'd like me to do a story time on it, please let me know. But my knees are quite weak, and so I ended up with really bad knees at the end of the day. But I think that was the only thing that I hated out of the whole however many activities we did. I just really enjoyed the activities. I remember throwing myself into it and just being active because I love being outdoors as much as I love being inside, and I love doing things like rock climbing and things like that. I love it. I remember doing mountain biking. That was fun. But my ass hurt after that, as you can imagine. Saddles are so small, and then bums are just like 2 times larger. Do you know what I mean? That's obviously gonna hurt, but that was good fun. And I believe it actually rained when we were mountain biking. That was a Tuesday. That must have been the 11th of July. How on earth do I remember these things? I honestly don't know. I think the Wednesday, for some reason, oh my god, why do I remember this? So on Wednesday, I think it was coasteering and rock climbing, and I think we rock climbed first and then did coasteering. And the other days, I can't actually remember. Monday must have been a team building day. Because, oh yeah, I remember my ex, because I was in the same group as my ex on the Monday still. My ex had to lift me, and we were doing like, you've got two trees, and you've got rope, all like, and you've got different sizes, and you cannot touch the rope, but you have to go through it. And I'm not explaining this very well, but my ex had to lift me because I was one of the smallest. I don't know why that happened, but I do remember my ex lifting me up. People touching me. I'm usually not a big fan of like skin contact with other people. And what is that spider doing? That first week was a lot of fun, and despite the fact that I had a lot of personal things going on between me and my ex, because the activities were amazing, the food, however, I was apprehensive about. I didn't really try it because I had all of my own food there with me. So I basically just had my own food, and I did not have proper meals at all, which was probably really bad. But yeah, I don't know how good the food was. I can't really say much about that because I didn't really try the food. I must have tried some of the food at some point, but I cannot actually remember when. So that was the first week that my ex did move groups, and it both made us a lot happier. So the second week, I think we were in, I'll just say it, we were in Grittleton House. We actually heard a lot of stories, like it was haunted. And the second week, it was basically things like talks from CEOP, so that's Child Exploitation Online Protection. Hey, I did it. And we had a talk from community police officer person. Can't actually remember. That was fun. That was not the first talk. That was the first talk I actually had from him. But since then, I have had 2 more bloody talks from him. And I have heard the same stories. We had other talks from like other charities, I think. And that week we were also, there was a first aid thing as well. And there was, it was basically just a week of staying in the house and just doing more, I don't know, less fun stuff, I guess. But it was still fun because I was in a room with like a lot of other girls. There was 7, 8 bunk beds, so that was like 14 girls, 16 girls, including myself. Can't actually remember, but that was fun. And was I on the top? I was on the top bunk, but I don't think anyone was underneath me. I had a bed to myself. I remember that week I actually took my makeup with me, and because the first week I didn't, and the way I did my makeup was we had these metal stairs, because it was like a metal bed frame, and I did my makeup with my dirty ass mirror, like turned slightly away from the light, because there was like one of those windows from the top, I'm pretty sure. What are they called? Because I can't remember. And that was pretty much the only light we got, so yeah. And sometimes I wouldn't even have that light to do my makeup. That was how I did my makeup. I remember my makeup being very basic. There isn't much to say about the second week because it was basically planning, like pre-planning for the third and fourth week. Yeah, there's just not much to say about the second week, apart from the fact that my ex was obviously still there. He was in the same, not room as me, whoa, he was not in the same room as me, but we were in the same space, but we didn't actually see each other because we were in different groups, obviously, to get away from me. And that probably isn't the case. He probably just needed time away from me, because I get that. Like, dealing with breakups, you want to be as far away from that person as possible so you can build yourself up again and find your happiness. I might go into this in a bit more detail in a different video. If you would like that, please let me know. The second week, my ex did have a bit of a, I don't really know how to explain it, but he's basically had a, like, his medical history hasn't been great, and he actually collapsed in one of the rooms in the house, and that obviously made me freak out a lot, because at the time I still cared about him, I still loved him, even though I don't now. Can I just say that I don't love him now? So that meant that I got very upset, and I was in my room with some other people when I found out, and so my natural reaction was to get away from those people, because when I'm upset, for some reason I just don't like being around people. Is anybody else like that? I can't actually remember where I went. I must have gone to the bathroom or something like that. But those three friends, the two girls and the guy, they went around the house looking for me, and the guy was actually the first person to find me. And I'm usually not one for skin contact, as I've said this before. I've literally said this in this video already, but I just let him hug me because, I don't know, I felt like I needed it. I'm gonna get upset, this is stupid, but in that moment I just felt loved, I guess, and like someone cared about me, and they did. We went into the guys' room. It wasn't just me and the girls, but there was a leader there with me. The leader of our group was in there with me, and there were a couple of other people from my room as well in there, but they weren't in the same group as me. Week 2 was obviously preparation for week 3 and 4, and then week 3 and 4, they were hard for me, because it was literally all I was doing. I didn't do anything when I was at home, because basically week 3 and 4, what you do is you plan an event to raise money for a charity. My group decided to raise money for the Anthony Nolan Trust. We actually teamed up with Group 7. We actually worked together with Group 7, so So my group was, well, the group that I was in was group 6, and then the other group was group 7, and pretty much every single day I had to get the train. My mum was actually working at that time, so she would drive me to the train station, then I would get a train from there to the place that I could get a train to the place I had to get to. I'm not explaining this very well because I don't want to name places, but basically I had to get 2 trains pretty much every single day, and there was one day that I even had to get a train from, I had to get a 40-minute train journey, which was double the time that I would usually be on a train. After those 2 weeks, I was exhausted because I got on so many trains and it cost a lot of money, but with NCS, your travel actually gets reimbursed. So NCS basically pays back the money that you paid to travel. But that was pretty much everything. There was an incident where online in the group chat where I actually said something to a friend, and well, not a friend, I basically said something to the guy about someone in the same group as me, and he told her, and then she had a go at me in the group chat about it, and she did not handle it in the right way. She could have privately messaged me and done it the right way, but she didn't. Obviously, being in that group chat made it worse to deal with. I would have handled it a lot better if I knew that I would have handled it a lot better if it was just between me and her, but obviously it wasn't. I didn't actually explain about weeks 3 and 4. Week 3 would have been like planning everything, and then week 4 was supposed to be actually doing everything that you planned in week 3, but we didn't really do it like that. We basically had to plan everything up to the day that we actually held our NCS Fest on. So overall, I had a really good NCS experience. That is everything for this video. If you enjoyed hearing about my experience, please give it a thumbs up. So if you are taking part this year or would like to, then I highly suggest it, because you will have the time of your life and you will enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos. I do writing videos and music related videos sometimes, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!